All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Podcast. I am live right now, Sunday, March 9th, with LaShawn Brown. Man, LaShawn, what's good with you, bro?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. We were chopping up a little bit off stage, and I gotta tell you, this Myles Garrett thing is wild to me.
Yeah,
And
it
we'll,
is.
we'll we'll start there because I know you're a Browns fan, and most people aren't. But let's be serious. Between the Browns trading for Deshaun Watson, and then this whole thing with Myles Garrett. It's been a wild, like 1,000 days.
I can say that it's been a roller coaster. I'll say that much. Like when it's high, it was high, but when it was low, it was bumpy as hell. So many twists and turns and everything. And now I say we're even killed right now, just going through the flow.
So when it came to, I will tell you this honestly, when it came to Myles Garrett, and I've been openly honest about this, and when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I really did feel that the Browns were going to trade Myles Garrett, and that didn't happen. So it's weird because Simpson fans want to say that all that people care about is winning, and then it's all they care about is money. It seemed like this was the perfect storm of he wanted the money and wanted to win, but clearly Cleveland had no chance of winning. So, what was as a Browns fan and knowing like having your ear to the ground, what was your overall reaction to the initial signing or restructuring, if you will, um, and him wanting to be traded and then not being traded?
I'll say I'll say the past 48 hours, everything changed. Everything like flipped on its head. I'll say Friday morning, I had a feeling after talking to a couple people, Miles was going to be traded as soon as free agency started Monday. He was going to be traded to where, if I had to put my hand up on it, from what I was told, Buffalo was the one that was going to be aggressive to make the move up on him.
So you actually thought that he was going to be traded?
Friday morning, after talking to a couple people, he was on the outside of just leaving Cleveland. He was going to be traded.
Wow, that surprised me because I thought that you thought that because like you had mentioned that he was going to resign last year because you posted that and I saw that, but you really thought that like in this moment, like this like week or two window, he was going to be traded.
He was going to be traded. Like everything behind the scenes and everything, Miles going up there on Radio Row telling everybody he wants to be traded. He told, social media he wants to be traded. Then the combine week happened. The Browns GM and head coach told everybody Miles is going to still be a part of the team. After the combine, that's when everything started ramping up. But everything was still quiet. Wasn't nobody saying anything, wasn't nobody giving any details. A lot of the media was thinking, all right, the Browns are going to give in because Miles, he can choose to sit out if he wanted to going into the season, if he like opted to have surgery up there on his foot. But I'll say everything changed. Like yesterday, we had got a report that Miles wanted to meet with the Browns owner. Why do you want to meet with the Browns owner after you done told everybody that you want to be traded? You don't want to meet the owner after you said that. For some reason, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's kind of hustling backwards. But as we see now, 24 hours later, we get the extension.
Well, and that's what's so interesting to me is that like we have seen so many times where players will say, "Well, I don't want to play here anymore," and owners say, "I don't want you here anymore," but they
Yep.
can't trade them or they won't go. So the Myles Garrett one was the most intriguing one for me, mostly because he finally, and I think that we as fans don't really understand what's going on inside of locker rooms, right? Well, what's ever reported to us. has to be true, and it's not true. But so when Myles said, I want to be traded, I thought, yeah, of course he does, because he plays for the Cleveland Browns. Like, why would you want to stay there? But then when he re-signed, it really does put in perspective of what is like, what's the end game? Is it really money? Do you really want to win? Do you really care?
If you
And
look at his,
the questions start to bubble, right? They sort of percolate.
yeah, his current, well, before the extension, he had no more guarantee money up there on his current deal because he done had it restructured a couple times. So all the guarantee money was out. So that's why he did what he did, because he was thinking, hey, I already talked to ownership after the season. They weren't giving me what I wanted. So I had to go publicly and tell everybody, hey, I want to be traded. So he pretty much put, you could say, the owner's feet to the fire, in which it was a losing battle, in my opinion. So you don't do it publicly. You do
A losing battle in what regard?
what you, huh?
A losing battle in what regard? That he wouldn't get what he actually wanted,
He
or
wanted more. He wanted more guaranteed money. That's what this all came down to.
we'll see. And that was one of the things I've gone back and forth with is it feels like he really does love playing in Cleveland.
He does.
That's what
I
it feels
can
like.
admit that. He does.
And that was and that is really a thing for me as somebody who is very disassociated from that, market, obviously. Um, it just felt like he wanted to be there, but wanted to be appreciated. But also, dude, that $40 million. We all know that the salary cap it's not fictional, but it's not unreal at the exact same time, right? So I feel like them doing this was you should have traded him. And you and I actually talked about this a little bit on your page. Was you thought that Cleveland would get them, or they were seeking what, 3 first rounders?
Yep. 3 first-round picks and a couple other picks thrown into it. Maybe a
Yeah,
young
third,
player.
fourth, fifth, whatever.
So I mean, I'm in my opinion, he tried to make it sound like that he wanted to go to a contender. That's what he kept saying. I want to go to a contender. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you don't get to choose that now. If you want to get traded, you can get traded, but you're not going to go to a contender because that contender is not going to want to give up, I'll say, multiple first-round picks. And I'm talking about more than 2.
I would here's what the reason why I think that some people would is because we have become such it's not just us as fans, it's the owners. They are impulse buyers. I think that somebody would, because when he signed to a 4 year 190-ish.
Yeah, something like that. But it came out to be like $40 million a year annually.
Yeah, but by the same token, man, in 2 years they'll cut him, they'll trade him because he's 20. What is he? He's 29 right now.
29, but he has a no trade clause now. So that was another thing that he wanted, because if, let's just say, if the Browns were to trade him and it
You
wasn't
gotta
to
sign
the
off
quote
on that.
unquote highest bidder, it could have been to anywhere and it could have been to another losing, franchise. So now he gets control of where he wants to go if it
I
comes.
know, but it's do you really think that he wanted to be in Cleveland?
I do, because he has too much at hand.
He has too much a hand.
He has too much on. I'll say on his plate. I'll say that much.
Oh,
He
you might
he
have
he
more.
has he has
You might have more info than I do.
listen. He has part ownership of the Cleveland Cavaliers. They showed
Oh,
him.
does he really?
Yeah, they
I
showed
didn't
him
know
the
that.
other night on the jumbotron, and Cavs fans were booing him. So I'm just like, now the fans are turning on him because he requested that he wanted to be traded. That's another reason why you can say within the past 36 hours, this deal was done.
But don't you think that would? So if he has part owner, I didn't realize you could do that.
Patrick Mahomes has part of like a
But
Kansas City
it's
soccer
it's
team.
cross pollinating sports though.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes more sense. Yeah.
So Myles wanted to be here. He
Do you
went to
really believe that
I do. After from what
after
I was
signing
told,
his contract?
yeah, the cap hit wasn't. I mean, unless the team was willing to go away with sending away 3 first-round picks, that was the only reason why the Browns would be able to trade him.
We'll see, and that was kind of the thing is that we always have this hard cap internally where once you hit 30, you're basically done, right? Like that's kind of the mind, like that's the thought process of us as fans, is people who um, kind of look at this sport in its entirety. So the fact that Miles is going to be 30 next year and they gave him a 4-year extension, it just feels like they're like, we're toying. This is me personally. It feels like they're toying him with the extension and the guaranteed money, but knowing damn well they're going to cut him in 2 years.
I say 3. He won't be. He will he finish his career in Cleveland? No, I'll say that. I'll just put it that way.
He deserves better than Cleveland.
Does he? Because at the end of the day, these football
Oh,
players,
rude. That was
these
rude as hell,
athletes,
does he?
these athletes, when you get a 9-figure paycheck sent in front of you, you turning that down. I'm gonna just say as a football player. I'm not even gonna say as an NBA player or baseball player. As a football player, you get a 9-figure check placed in front of you. Are you turning that down?
No, but the other thing is that what if the guarantee money though? That's the thing, is that it's never really it's guaranteed, but only to a degree in the NFL.
That's why you always have to read fully guaranteed, like guarantee as signing.
Fully
That's the part
guaranteed.
you got to read, and then you
Right.
got to read the fully guaranteed part.
I just
I'm my best friend Laville, who I love. He kept telling me like after the season, he was like the Browns are gonna give him a fully guaranteed contract. He's like Jimmy's the only owner in the NFL that had the balls to do that. I'm like, no, because he has egg on his face from Deshaun Watson, so he's not doing that again. But then he was like, they're gonna probably give him like a 3-year, $120 million extension.
and it was almost to the T.
It was almost to the T. So
And
I
that
was
is crazy.
yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. I was taking a nap earlier, and then my daughter had woke me up and was telling me that Myles Garrett.
I envy you for the lone fact that you can take naps.
I didn't want to believe her. I'm like, what? And then I seen a notification. I'm like, are you kidding me? They really did this. But then this one, like, I'm messaging people, and they were just like, yeah, it's done. It's been done. They've been sitting on it, and Miles just had a change of heart. And I was like, what made the change of heart?
See, I don't believe you had a change of heart though.
I do.
It's oh my god, dude, it's so wild because I have no idea what to think. He said he wanted to go to a contender, and this is the whole reason why I don't believe anybody in what they say in professional sports. Like your owners and your managers, we're not trading this person, we're not releasing this person. They do it all the damn time. I want to go to a contender, and then next thing we know, he's signing a multi-million-dollar extension. What was it? And I have no problem with him wanting to stay in Cleveland for the money, because make your money. There's no guarantee that you'll win a Super Bowl regardless of where you go. The Bills
Bingo.
just cut Von Miller.
That's the part right there. Are you guaranteed wherever you go to win?
No. So make your money. And this is also where the problem lies with professional sports now, is because the money is so exponentially higher, where the fans are going, well, why don't you just play for the love of the game? No, we're gonna make generational money. Your po ass can just be you
And hate all you want.
all you all you want to. So when it comes down to it, like, all right, so monetarily, I think that you and I both agree that him staying in Cleveland was the better financial, right? Obviously.
Yeah, because I still, let's just say if he'd have got traded to Buffalo, Philly, Kansas. Well, I won't even say Kansas City. One of those two teams.
I swear to God, you leave that.
I
You
know
leave that too
because
much your mouth, dog.
listen, man. If Kansas City would have swooped in and got him, I'd have like thrown everything out. Everything, anything Browns related would have been gone. Gone. I'm just saying. But if he'd have got traded to Philly or Buffalo, it would have been a $40 million a year uh, type of contract. And I said, Max Crosby just got 36 and a half. I say Miles would have probably settle for like 37, 38 million a year.
Well, because what Crosby is what 27-ish.
No, 36.
Max Crosby, there's no way he's 36 years old.
Oh, I thought you was trying to say the money. My fault.
Oh no, his age. I was like,
he's
there's no goddamn ways.
I think he's like 28, 29. He's about around the same age as
Oh,
Miles.
okay.
I was like, what?
No. My bad.
But hey, congratulations to him on his extension. He pretty much gave Miles the benchmark because as soon as he got that extension,
and that may have been his leverage because like when it comes to Miles, I know that he wants to win, but this always comes down to what I've been telling people for years is that yes, they want to win, but bro, they want to make money.
They want that guarantee money.
Like it's not.
You want that security, that financial security. That's what as a football player, that financial security comes down to it. You're not guaranteed to, keep playing into the future.
Especially for football players like NBA, MLB, those are completely different things. When it comes to football, you got to make sure that you lock in your.
That's why I hate the franchise tag. I despise.
Oh, we haven't talked about that so far, but let's get that. What are your thoughts on the franchise tag? What about T. Higgins?
I feel sorry for him because he's gonna have to settle up on it.
You feel sorry for him? Interesting.
Because you're gonna get $26.2 million next year. But at the same time, if he hit the open market, he's only 25, 26 years old. He will probably get around 28, 29 million a year on the open market.
Do you see? And I understand why you say that because when you have Jamar Chase on one side, it makes you look better on the other.
Yep.
So the money kind of what you're saying makes sense in theory, but what happens when you don't have Jamar Chase on the other?
Will we get better production? No. Will we get along the same lines? Depends on who the quarterback is.
He'll get more targets.
Yeah.
Maybe more receptions, maybe more yards, but will they actually matter? And I would say no.
Well, let's say if he went to New England. Because everybody kept penciling him in to going to New England because
everybody was hammering that.
And I was just like, I was thinking he was going to go to Carolina. I'm like, that's where he's from. He's from Carolina. Bryce Young. Why not? But he got that franchise tag. But at the same time, if I'm the Bengals and I have two receivers that I have to pay, and one is quote unquote the best wide receiver in the league, I will try to get his deal done first before I try to come to T. Higgins.
I mostly agree with that. I'm woo! It's something where if I ask you name your top 10 wide receivers, how many are in that group?
I can name 10. Top 10.
And then not think about it. Like you definitively know 1 through 10.
Yeah, 1 through 10, I could just rattle them off.
So, but with that being said, it is top 10, but also switch quarterback groupings. That's the thing is the wide receivers are based upon everything is inclusive upon, offensive line,
quarterback system. Yep.
everything. So you definitively know that you can name 10 wide receivers. They're like, these are my top 10 dudes and not think twice about it.
That if I had to pay, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Jamar, Jettas, Jefferson. For everybody that don't know, CD Lamb. CD Lamb is one. I hate to say this, but Tyreek Hill is one.
Oh,
Jackson Smith Najibba is one. He's a sleeper.
ooh. Is that the Ohio State in you?
No, like he actually showed up.
Yeah, he is
He
actually
showed up
really
last
nice.
year.
He's
So
real nice.
yeah. Who else? Mike Evans. Mike Evans. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Even though I always say he's a one route type of guy, but you still can't cover him.
Well, instead of tell you what, instead of doing like right now, because obviously like in a 1 year sample size, well, what about next 3 years?
Whew.
Because
Now
Mike
next 3
Evans
years.
right now is still real nice, but
Yeah.
he's bro,
Next three over
he's
the
getting to
next three
our age.
years, I'll go with like you can add Puka up there, Jettas, Jamar, Lamb, Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Marvin Harrison.
So are we just doing people who are young?
I mean, you got to. You as you said over the next 3 years, I don't want anybody that's over the age of 30.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, like, but we just do at this point in time, it just feels like we're just naming people who were drafted in the last year or two.
Yeah, that's how you got to do it. Those
So
guys,
Khalil, so
those are the guys
Khalil,
you got to build around.
so Khalil Shakir isn't any good.
He's a good number two receiver.
He's a good number 3 wide receiver.
Oh
That's what he is.
no! So you mean to tell
Oh,
me
bro.
you gonna
Yo,
have Coleman as your number one?
he's 5'8", bro.
What's
He's a
wrong with
midget.
that? We height shaming now? He's gonna make plays. He's gonna be a
No,
Wes Welker.
he's good, but like when they signed him and oh man, I don't want to make this a Bills podcast. So, but I will do this. The Bills re-signed or extended Greg Rousseau. Good signing, bad signing.
Good
It
sign.
was it was like 4 years, 80 mil.
$80 million. That's a good signing right there, in my opinion.
You think $20 million a year is okay?
Yeah, for a defensive end, that's I say like top 15ish. He's young.
Ooh, top 15's that's a strong one. Me, now if you ask me, can I name 15 edge rushers better? I probably can't. But what
And
irritates me is that people are like, oh, he's been great for Buffalo. He's been great.
he gets the. I'll say he gets the job done. He's consistent. I'll say that.
I will say this though. So what's the salary for TJ Watt? He's like what, making 35 a year?
What he's at? What? Well, he signed his about 3-4 years ago, 27 million.
Yeah, I think it was 2-3 years ago. Yeah.
So he's another one who's going to want an extension. In which, in my opinion, I would not be surprised if the Steelers traded him. He's in the last year of his contract, and
Oh no, you think so?
they might want to be in that rebuild mode because they can't get the quote unquote top young quarterbacks because they're always in the middle of the first round.
You think they would trade TJ Watt?
Yeah, if it got you a first round pick, why not?
Well, see, nothing that I always think about this. Like, I'm never the thing I was surprised about. We talked about this earlier. I was legitimately surprised that Myles Garrett re-signed with Cleveland. Them trading, if Pittsburgh actually traded TJ Watt, that would legitimately freak me the hell out because that goes against everything that they stand for.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Let's just say the Steelers does trade TJ Watt. There would not be a national writer, local media member or anything to criticize Pittsburgh for trading him. They will give Pittsburgh
Oh,
credit.
you don't think so? Oh, dude, they gonna get hate mail.
No, they won't. They're Pittsburgh. They've been, consistent, for the past, 40, 50 years?
Yeah, and they've been middle of the road for 50 years.
Yeah. They done had a couple, Super Bowl runs, but
So they're the New York Giants of the AFC North.
I'm not saying that. You're not about to have them mad at me. You're not going to make them mad at me. They're going to hate me even more. I'm not saying that. That is all you, bro.
No, I don't know, man.
I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if the Steelers had the balls to do that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, now that we're going back and forth between the Myles Garrett thing and now we're talking about TJ Watt, do you think Cleveland would have actually legitimately been pissed off if they would have traded
Fans?
Myles?
Fans?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well,
Like,
that's the thing though. With TJ, you don't think that Pittsburgh fans would be pissed if they traded away TJ?
they would be mad, but then at the same time, I'll say by the time the season rolls around, they'll get over it. They'll be over it.
This is the thing I want to. So I'll ask you two questions back to back. Are you glad that Myles Garrett is back?
I am, because now we still have our franchise player, our leader, our captain still there. Uh, if they would have got rid of him, I would have said give it about 3-4 years for the Browns to be over whatever rebuild they're trying to get to.
Well, and that was my thing is like, are you good with him being back, or would you rather get him back? Because this was something that I was going back and forth with a lot of people for is you're Cleveland, you got Pittsburgh, you got Cincinnati,
You got
you got Baltimore. You're nowhere close. So why the hell resign this? He allegedly said he wants to be traded, and you're nowhere close to winning you're not even close to winning your division.
No.
Why not? Like, why not get something back in return? So you're okay with them keeping him, or as a Browns fan, you obviously want to keep him because he's dope as hell. But as a Browns fan, also, does it make sense to ship him off? Like, let's recoup things from this stupid Deshaun Watson trade. Like, what are your overall thoughts on how it went this entire 18-month period?
Oh man, I'll say it. Like I said, it's a roller coaster. I mean, going into the season, I knew the Browns would be bad. Like, everybody was too dependent on Deshaun Watson. Like, there was, in my opinion, there was nothing that gave me any type of hope to depend on him, especially coming off an injury with the rare bone in the shoulder.
CR wants in.
All right.
What up, CR? What's good, bro?
Up, fellas? What's happening?
Up, bro?
What's good? Yeah, dog.
What's happening?
What's happening with some got Patron in my cup?
Yeah, I've just been putting dressers together. I seen y'all was on. I'm like, man, let me hop on. Anything to not do what I'm supposed to do.
Now, let me ask you this.
What's up?
If the Bears offer 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett, would you be okay with that?
No, absolutely not. They're not one player away.
You're not one player away?
No, they're not one Myles Garrett away. No.
Even after you just rebuilt your interior of your offensive line?
The tackles, the left tackle still trash. He trash. The center trash. We need another D tackle. Kevin Byard, old at safety. Jaquan Brisker missed a concussion. No, we're not one player away.
Damn. All right. I had to throw it up out there.
You don't have a Brian Urlacher just laying out in the woodwork.
I don't want it. I don't mess with. I don't even call him by his name. That's 54. I don't mess with dude. Ever since he told LeBron to shut up and dribble, I'm cool on Urlacher.
I get it.
You can take your colonizing ass on somewhere.
So we talked a little bit. Myles Garrett, what's your thought on everything when it comes to Myles Garrett? CR, since you're joining us now, what's your thought about Myles going back to
I love
Cleveland?
it, man.
You like
He
it?
was like, I want out. He's like, they were like, we'll give you $40 million a year. I'll stay. I ain't mad at it.
No, because that was the thing for me. Is like every man's got to have a code, right?
Shoot,
Like I want to win, but it's also, I have no idea where you're going to send me.
He got quarterback money. He got low end quarterback money.
Exactly. You're
So,
right. I mean, people
Right.
keep saying that he's quote unquote the best defensive player of the year. I mean, the best defensive player in the league.
without a
So
doubt.
why not get paid like the best defensive player in the year in the league?
Right, you might as well.
Shit. That's
Yo,
how
CR, you came in hot. What?
that's how I get my wife to stay. I gotta shell out the cash.
Get everything out.
I gotta shell out the cash. That's the only reason the wife stays. So I get it. Right?
Yep.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Dude, I love you so much.
I've put together 4 dressers in the past 2 days. Like,
You need a break.
man,
Hey, babe, I need a half-hour break. I'll be back.
I know, right? These IKEA instructions they're all
Man, they are the
man,
worst.
they are
Man.
bull.
I hate IKEA.
yeah, no,
Oh,
it's the little things.
Jay's popping in too.
Oh man.
Oh
good?
boy, here we go. Here we go. We got.
This,
Honestly,
this
we
my
got
little
all
dog
the
right here, boy.
Yeah.
and the goat G.
It's my dog.
What's good, fellas?
Not
Yeah.
much. How you doing, Jay?
Enjoying a cigar. Don't appreciate the time change, but it is what it is.
It's so dumb, right?
Yeah,
Daylight savings time should be abolished.
I agree.
I thought they were doing that at one point.
No, it was brought up to. It was like 2019. It was thought about that they would get rid of it, but never came to it. It's so dumb, man. Like it was a thing that was relevant 100 years ago.
I didn't even know it was happening. I woke up. I'm like, man, it's 8 o'clock. I'm like, I don't never sleep this late.
Yo,
I'm like, man, we gotta be at church in an hour.
I bought my son an alarm clock, and during his school week, he's good about turning it off. And today he woke up, an hour earlier, and he's like, why does this thing not shut off when it's supposed to? I was like, bro, you're an hour ahead, dog.
You can't go back to sleep now.
Nah.
Yeah, man.
But also, so what? All right, so we got most of the crew in here. We got most of the Avengers in here.
Yeah, we
So
just missing
TR.
Zeb and the light skin.
CR, this is where you make fun of Jay.
I ain't even do shit.
Not yet.
Not yet. Like, at least let me do a violation before we do all that.
Hey man, you popped in for no reason, so
I was smoking a cigar and I want to talk to the homies.
Nothing wrong with that.
So we were like me and LaShawn were talking earlier about just the Myles Garrett thing, but right
Man,
now
that was crazy.
It's crazy.
I thought that he was gone, but you know what they say, money talks and bullshit walks, and they had the money, so he's staying.
It's the guaranteed money, man. As
It's
Yeah.
the
long as
guaranteed money. Yep.
listen, again, when these billionaire owners, the guaranteed money is what hurts them the most. So when I see Jimmy shelling out 123 million to Myles Garrett, that goes into an escrow account for all the owners. You want to know what owner in the league hates that? Mike Brown for Cincinnati Bengals. He hates that. And
he
I'm gonna just
probably
say
don't
why.
even got 123 million for
Yeah,
nobody.
he does not have that.
No.
That's why I was shocked and surprised when he paid Joe Burrow.
Yo, that
I mean,
for
imagine how much
sure.
Joe Burrow would have went for in a trade. Like,
Listen, I'm gonna put it out there right now. The two players that are happy that Myles got an extension: one, Michael Parsons; two,
Aiden
Jamar
Hutchinson.
Chase.
Oh, dude, Micah Parsons is just licking his chops right
Oh,
now.
Aiden Hutchinson is so happy right now.
And Jamar Chase.
I don't know about Aiden. I don't know about Hutch though.
No, because he's coming off an injury season now.
Right. I'm not certain about that yet. He as long as he produces again this year and won't get injured again, then yeah, he's gonna be licking his chops. But I don't think
But
he's
I
on
mean,
that.
Miles just jumped so much higher. Like usually you see like 500,000 a year higher. He went like 4.5 million higher. I'm like,
$4.5 million higher.
I'm like, that's why he stayed. Like shit.
So now it's either going to be Jamar or Micah who's going to be the highest paid
Non-quarterback.
non-quarterback.
Why does Jerry do this crap every year? He waits till the last second to pay guys, and then he
It's
complains
dude,
about the cap.
I don't understand that with him, man.
If I was a Cowboys fan, I'd be so upset. Like he just waits till the last second every time.
Well, and I do think it's fair that so the sensible Cowboys fans should be irritated with Jerry Jones and how he coordinates things. The nonsensical ones are like, we them boys.
He got to get out the way, and he won't do that.
No, he's the only person who bought a job.
He's everybody who is a Dallas fan who doesn't love Jerry is just like that. Move, get out the way.
Nope.
Yeah, like if we don't pay Jaden Daniels after year 3, we're somewhere on the spectrum.
Well, it depends. It has to be. The arrow still has to be pointing up.
Yeah, but I mean, I was a huge Jaden fan before we even took him, so I think he's going to be special. But yeah, I mean, he can't just crap to bed the next couple of years and get his money.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what the one thing you got to worry about with these quarterbacks.
But he does that like AI robot crap where he just gets to put some goggles on and get like 300 extra reps a day.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it can
don't
be
know why
healthy.
everybody don't do it.
Well, from what I was told, there's a certain quarterback in the league that says that he prefers this to be physical and not do it from virtual. Huh? No, it's a current quarterback. He's in the league. I'll say that much. He said that he'd rather for it to be, face to face, in person, not doing it through a computer.
Is it
Yeah,
Kermit?
but you laying at home and in bed, like you get the mental reps without putting wear and tear on your body. I think it's cool. Yeah. But I'm not an NFL quarterback, so what do I know?
Now, let me ask you this. Going into his second season, what should be the threshold or the expectations for Daniels?
We need to make the playoffs, and depending on the matchup, a playoff win. I don't expect us to go to no NFC title game again.
Why not?
Yeah, I think that's a reckless speculation.
I think we overachieved this year. Like, I mean, we got lucky that Detroit had a CFL defense out there. Like, and the fact that they gave Jahmyr Gibbs like 5 carries in the second half, like that loss was on Ben Johnson.
Right.
There's no other way to put it on.
Whoa, you gonna deal with that disrespect?
Oh,
we're not gonna do.
Oh boy,
we're on the other side now.
He ain't messed up with y'all yet. I mean, he's gonna, but like
Ben Johnson didn't give up 50 points. You scored 30.
Go ahead, CR.
You win the game. Ben Johnson didn't throw 4 interceptions and fumble and.
But why is Jared Goff throwing it 48 times when he's throwing 4 interceptions?
Because y'all were down by infinity billion points.
Yeah, they were down. So
whenever literally every time Jahmyr Gibbs got the ball, he had a first down. Like, I don't know why they didn't just give him the ball.
You gonna leave St. Ben alone. That's what you're gonna do. You're not doing that, man.
Man, I
Yeah,
did see
he's
a
an
crazy
angel.
Caleb Williams stat that he didn't throw a pick in the red zone all year, which is pretty impressive for a rookie, honestly.
Caleb didn't have a bad year. He just didn't have the year everyone expected.
Everybody expected him to come through and just blow everything about the water.
And it's like, bro, he had a good year for a rookie quarterback.
And
Yeah.
plus, nobody expected Minnesota to
Yeah,
be
he
as
was
good as
good.
they were. Like, that was a tough division, first of all. And then Jaden Daniels just stole you all season. Like, as soon
No,
as he dropped that Hail Mary, it was over.
it turned out to be a tough division.
Killed my parlay. That's what it did, first and foremost.
That's
But then it's
personal.
like when he caught it, I wasn't even mad. I just laughed. I'm like,
Dang.
what could I do?
That's life of a Bears fan right there.
I was like, we didn't deserve to win that game anyway. We was getting our asses kicked the whole game, and somehow took the lead. And then we had a rocket scientist of a coach who's those 13 yards don't matter. Yeah, the guy has a bum arm. He can't get the ball to the end zone, so let's give him free yardage.
Yeah, Jaden literally had
get the
bruised
beat ready.
ribs and couldn't
Get the
throw
beat
it.
ready.
Like,
Because he's a stupid motherfucker. That's what he is. Like, you dumb son of a bitch. You 13 yards don't fucking matter in the NFL?
Nope.
Man, tell your wife 3 inches don't matter. I'm talking about 13 yards don't matter.
man, who's dumber, Eberflus or Adam Gase? Like, those two are the dumbest dudes I've ever seen. And
Hey, Chris now.
the dude who coached Denver when Russ was there, that dude pretty dumb too.
Oh, Nat Hackett?
Yeah, he's dumb too. Like,
that explanation was crazy.
You got Tyreek Stevenson waving to the crowd. You got timeouts, buddy. Use one.
Oh man.
didn't use one against Detroit either. Y'all should have beat Detroit on Thanksgiving, but he's just looking at the clock. Like,
now, listen, I'm not gonna lie. That one hurt me. I had a
that was a bad one, but it also wasn't just on him though.
At that game,
no, it's Eberflus because it happened 7 weeks in a row. Like,
I was gonna be happy if that game would have went into overtime. They were in field goal range, so I'm like, at minimum, they're gonna tie the game.
We had 3 division games in a row that we should have won in the fourth quarter
On the
and
last
lost
possession.
every one of them.
On the last possession, man, that shit is crazy.
that is some crazy work.
but that's another thing about Washington. We had like 6 or 7 wins on the last play of the game. Like, we might be a little overrated going into the year. Like, we gotta see what free agency and the draft does, but like, we just gotta make the playoffs, win a playoff game, and I'm happy.
You can't replicate that.
No,
we ain't making the NFC title game again. And Philly's just freaking ridiculous. Unless the injury bug just hits them, I don't see us getting past them.
Saquon due to get hurt, so we'll see.
That's your words, not mine.
With that old line, maybe not.
Me. Because
that's the best O-line.
It's like 1 year on, 1 year off. So we'll see. Like McCaffrey will be back next year. Saquon will be hurt. Then the next year, Saquon will go off. McCaffrey will be hurt. That's just the way things have been going.
I love you're so
CMC pick 1 in fantasy football this year. Got it.
Let me ask you all this real quick.
I'm going Jamar Chase.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. Geno Smith going to the Raiders for a third rounder. You guys go up or down?
I like it.
That's Pete Carroll's guy.
Okay, hold up. From whose perspective? You like it from whose perspective?
Both. I mean, I would have rather did a fourth, but I mean, a third kind of rich, but like, it's a quarterback.
Yeah, who's gonna be 35 and like
they played till 45 now. Who give a damn?
Nobody can. Yo, this is why people like you irritate the hell out of me. Thinking that everybody can be Tom Brady and can play till 45 years old. It's not
Stafford
real.
Playing
dog.
at 38, he broke every bone in his body playing at bum Detroit.
What?
Stafford playing at 38 and he broke every body in his.
He's not 45 though. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
But you said he's 35. He's probably gonna sign a 3-year contract that makes him 38. Like, it's not.
He's not that good though.
He's better than whatever the hell they had. I don't even remember. Aiden O'Connell
and Gardner Minshew.
That's my problem with it. I feel like
you're
it's
giving up a
short-sighted.
third rounder for a 34-year-old quarterback
Okay,
who
but
is
what
not that
quarterback in the
good.
draft can they realistically draft that's going to change the
They can
franchise?
Does that
listen.
matter?
They can still draft Shador and still have him sit.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
but then
wouldn't
you
even
got
do that. I'm
maybe
throwing
they
the
not
tank.
sold on Shador. Maybe they want to wait till next year for Nico or Archie. I don't freaking know.
But that's why I don't like it, because I feel like it's going to hurt you. Gino going to win you a couple games that you shouldn't win.
Yeah, exactly.
And now that
He's
you
gonna give you
won't,
two.
now you can't take Archie. Now you're not in the position to. Like,
Okay, that
if
makes
I'm
sense.
them, I'm trying to go 0-17.
That-
Like,
well,
what are you
see-
playing? What are you playing? Like, what realistically? What are the Raiders going to win? Nothing.
They're in a,
but see,
in a
that was-
They're
tough
going to
was
win
my-
fourth place.
That was
Right.
my point, is why give up a third round draft pick for a quarterback that is 34 years old and you're not going to win anything this year. You're not even going to win your division at like you're
Pete Carroll.
nowhere close. Why give a third rounder? Get a starter at some other position. That was my whole thought process.
That's all.
You know
Pete
what?
Carroll.
Y'all right. I changed my mind. Y'all right. I'll change my mind on that.
Goddamn right, we're right, Jay.
Man,
Just
I'll
go
listen to the
sign
logic
Russell.
when
If
it's
you want to
there.
do something, go sign Russell Wilson. It just costs you money.
Yeah, that. But
It
Pete,
just
I don't
costs
think
money.
Pete likes Russ. Because they could have did
I
that.
hate Russ.
Hey, but
Like,
you
Pete was
No,
okay
but
with letting him go.
The actual trade value, does it make sense to you?
Not
A
to
third
me.
rounder for
It
Gino
does.
to the Raiders, because the
only
Raiders.
makes sense because it's Pete Carroll.
Well, I know there's a connection between Gino and Pete Carroll, but what I'm saying is that does the trade, if we take the people out of it, does it make sense to
Nah,
trade
because
a
you can
third
get
round
a
draft pick for a
starter who's
34-year-old
21,
quarterback?
22,
Does that make
23 in the
sense?
third.
I mean,
No,
I
because
don't
you
know.
can still find a starter who's 21, 22, 23 years old in the third round. Like,
That's the thing for me. Like, the trade doesn't make any sense whatsoever because the Raiders are so far away.
but the Raiders can't draft either. So, I mean, they would screw the pickup anyway.
That's a very good point.
I mean,
But in that
the
division,
only,
yeah,
the
you're
only
right. They
way
should try
I
and go
understand
0-17.
it is that, like, okay, we got a coach that's near death, so we need to try to do something now.
Dude, don't do that. Don't wish death on
Man,
people.
I'm
I
not
think-
wishing it, but he's 79 years old or whatever. Like,
I know what you mean, but still, damn, bro.
he ain't on
Man,
the
I
back.
think
He's not on the
Seattle
back
should just
nine.
rock
He
with
got
Sam
about.
Howell now.
Hey, I'm a
You
Sam
ain't
Howell
wrong
guy.
though.
I mean, Sam Howell ain't going to win you that many games.
Well, nobody's going to. You're in the AFC West.
No, I'm talking about Seattle. They should just start Sam.
Oh.
I've heard them trying to go get Darnold. I'm like, why? Just start Sam Howell. He's used to being a test dummy. Trust me, I know. Like,
Actually, that's another good question. So Sam Darnold's like in this flux of
I'm not paying him $100 million. I'll tell you that right now.
for how many
It's
years?
not your money.
Over 3.
Like, you wouldn't pay him 100. Dude, I wouldn't either. But I mean, like, it really depends on what you feel. Like $100 million over. Who said over 3 years? Is that LaShawn?
I do.
No, it'll be 3 years.
Because that's a Baker. I'm thinking the Baker Mayfield deal, the 3 for 100.
And I'm good with that. What about you, CR?
I wouldn't give Sam Darnold $100. So
Okay, honestly, thank you.
like it was
Kevin
a nice
O'Connell's one of the
story.
best minds, and they have Justin Jefferson, a great offensive line. They got
Exactly.
Addison.
Jordan Addison,
Like, they got a bunch of dogs
And
over
they
there.
did
was perfect
that was
for him.
old ass Kirk Cousins. They thought they could do it with JJ McCarthy. Why pay anybody?
I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not
JJ
paying
was slinging
Sam
it in the
Pay anybody
preseason.
$50 million a year. Get the hell out of here.
What I would have done though, if I'm Minnesota, I probably would have tagged him and tried to trade him and try to leverage him.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
see,
I'm trying to get a second-round pick.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is, like, if you tag him, somebody has to pick up that tab, and you have to have somebody who wants to trade for a $50 million tag on a second round pick. And
Is that
most
what the
people are
tag
going to
is
do
for
that.
QB? $50 million?
I thought it was 40.
Well, it's close. What I'm saying is, like, the basic principle is you franchise tag him and then trade him, but nobody wants to trade for a $40 million quarterback that nobody believes in.
Especially 2 first-round picks.
Exactly.
Some
'cause
idiot.
That's
Well,
yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs did it with Snead last year. You know, they tagged them, traded them
That
to
was
the
a
Titans.
corner. That was a corner, though. That's not a quarterback. That's
I get it, but somebody
that
would have
money's
gave up
different.
at least a second for him.
no,
Tomorrow, Adam
but
Schefter's
when
gonna
you
break.
but when you franchise tag him, the number, like the actual trade value, changes based on position.
Yeah, and he's a quarterback, so I'd want to get something for him. I'm not one with just letting people walk for nothing. Like that bothers me.
No,
Not when I can
I'm
get
with
some.
you in that for sure.
But
But
I mean, some idiot is going to pay him tomorrow. We're going to get the breaking news. Sam Darnold agrees to a 3-year deal, $120 million.
I could see
with
Indianapolis
dot,
doing
dot,
it.
dot.
ooh, I like that. All right, so now we're starting this. So Jay, you said you could see
The Colts.
Indy signing
Yeah, I could see them signing Sam Darnold.
for
They
$100
obviously
million.
don't believe in Anthony Richardson no more.
But
Probably
$100 million,
never shoot
but
Man,
again, for how many years?
I'm with
Though?
CR. I wouldn't give him $100. So I mean, the money's what it is. But
Well, and this is what's so weird is like we can all say what we would do, but it's also the other person signing the contract has to agree with it. Like I wouldn't sign for more than $100 million. He's like, well, I feel like I'm worthy of $2 million, or 200 million. It's all kind of wild.
well, I mean, you can wish in one hand and shit in the other, but only one's gonna get full.
Well, I know, but that's my point though. Is like, well, I wouldn't sign him for this, and the other person would say, well, I wouldn't sign there for the other, and there's no real connection.
I don't. But yeah, I think Indy could be sneaky looking at it because I mean that's a weak division outside of Houston. I mean,
Dude, even Houston's cheeks.
Jacksonville gonna go 1-16. That head coach, the way he said Duval, like he's
Yo,
already buzzed.
no, dude. Houston's better than 1-16. Don't do that.
No, I'm saying Jacksonville's 1-16.
Oh,
As
Jacksonville.
soon as I heard that dude say Duval the way he did, I said he's cooked.
Dude. Oh, Liam Cohen. Yo, that was
as soon as I saw
really
that, I'm like,
bad.
oh,
That
they ain't
was
doing nothing.
really bad.
Everything about him is just freaking nerd, and I'm like, he ain't gonna make it.
In the AFC South, you can trip over your and still win 2 games.
I don't think so. That dude looks special, and I don't mean that positively.
Dude, he basically looks like less weird Adam Gase.
I mean, that's not a great comparison, regardless.
I know, but it's accurate though, right? Adam Gase when he was.
I've never heard a dude say a word that cringy be an NFL head coach. Like
Nigel just said Adam Gase vibes. That's right after I said it.
Man, he might be worse than Adam Gase. He might make Adam Gase look like freaking Bill Belichick.
Oh, that's a really difficult comp.
I think he's so weird it's gonna work. I got Jacksonville winning that division next year.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, that's my early bold take.
Man, who's your drug dealer? I need that number.
But they just released their superstar wide receiver Christian Kirk.
And Trevor Lawrence ain't did nothing. Evan Ingram gone too.
Yeah, they got him too. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. Like honestly, I have no science behind it. It's just a gut feeling.
Well, there's always one that nobody expects to do it. So I mean, it might be them, but I'm not hopeful.
So before we move on to something else, it's not on my docket, but what is the most surprising cut that you guys have seen so far over the past week or so? Because there's been a lot. There's been a lot of roster cuts. Which one is the most surprising to you?
Harold Landry. I didn't see
Oh
that.
yeah,
coming.
yeah,
I wasn't.
yeah,
I
that
wasn't
one.
seeing that coming at all. Yeah.
No, that's the one. But I was thinking Zadarius just because Detroit don't have any pass rush outside of Aiden.
Well, they traded for him too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but he was
traded
going to be
for
like 11.6 against the cap if they kept him. All that.
Yeah. For me, Zadarius was the most. That was the most surprising because they traded to get him.
And they just got no pass rushers outside of Aiden. Like that defense needs help.
I feel
Well,
like
I know a lot of people were thinking that maybe they would go after Myles Garrett. There was a lot of folks thinking that, and
I saw somewhere that they were the most aggressive, but when somebody wants to pay you $40 million a year, I mean, I'm staying.
well, and I'll say this is before we knew that the Browns locked him into that $40 million salary, I did think that Detroit would be the one to do it, especially because if I'm following the tea leaves and I saw that Darius Smith was released, 12, 14 hours ago, I thought for certain, I was like, oh, this is where it goes down. Myles Garrett gets traded immediately. That's what I thought in real time. And that didn't happen though.
Man, I didn't even know if they had the money to pay him, but apparently that restructure on Watson allowed it. But
Listen, again, it comes down to the guarantee money. Like Miles is going to get paid $1 million in guarantee money for this season, so that helps with the whole cap. Deshaun Watson is going to get paid $46 million next season to go away. He would not play another down with the Cleveland Browns. He will never play
he
another.
shouldn't. He's been terrible.
I mean, and you
That's what's been
tear your
playing on.
Achilles twice back to back, you're cooked. Like I'm surprised that he's able to still walk.
Y'all would have been
Are they going to be
better
able
off with
to?
Aiden O'Connell. Like Watson's been so bad.
Are they going to be able to recoup some of that
Yes,
money?
yes, they're going to recoup some of it in this year's cap and then next year's cap.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were actually going. I know there's been talks about them trying to, but I wasn't sure if that was actually going to be a
Yeah,
viable asset for them.
they put up an investigation to make sure that Deshaun got hurt doing what he said he got hurt doing during rehab. I still don't believe it, but the Browns do. But they're still going to get some of the money back because Jimmy had an insurance policy up there on Deshaun.
man, if I was Jimmy, I'd set Deshaun up and I'd catch him on the catch a predator, and I wouldn't give you a dime.
Listen, man, I keep trying to tell people, I'm like, you really think these billionaire owners are just going to sit back and just let these players just play with them? No, they're not, man.
Deshaun Watson just made sure nobody's ever getting fully guaranteed contract ever again.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised if Pat got one soon.
Oh, Mahomes?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Pat's different. You give him
What
whatever
guarantee you
dollar
think
amount
so?
he asks for.
What's that?
Pat different. You give him whatever money he wants.
Yeah, he's gonna probably get like
That's my way of looking. It's like whatever Mahomes wants, you give it to him.
it's gonna be like 6,
In the
7
next 4 or 5
years.
years.
Huh?
In the next like 4 or 5 years, like once he reaches like 30. The problem is like
He signed that
everybody
10-year
wants to
deal,
pay
though.
these dudes based off like previous experience. Like he's 28. You pay him what he wants to before like 33. But once he gets to 33, you're like, we got to start tempering expectations, right? No? LaShawn, you think that he's just gonna be great until he's 40?
I mean, the expectation
at least
is
38.
he's the best quarterback in the league right now. There is no
Correct.
down year. There's no such thing as a down year to him right now.
We'll have to see what he does
But that's
post
my thing is
Andy
like,
Reid, though. That's going to be interesting because Andy's getting up there in age. Like, what is he post Andy Reid?
but see that's the thing is like he right now is under 30 years old. That's awesome. But we have this weird thought process of because Brady and LeBron are playing in their 40s that everybody can do it. Maybe he doesn't. I don't think
I
we
mean-
can. I don't think that it's. I don't think it's a realistic expectation for him to be Patrick Mahomes when he's 35. In
I mean,
6
even
years,
if
he may not
he-
be that dude anymore.
Even if he retires at 38, I mean, pay the man.
I wouldn't.
He's gonna get 6-7 years, and it's gonna be like something crazy.
Man, when does his contract even end? He signed a 10-year deal. Like,
Bro,
Yeah, but he did like 4
you have
years
to learn
ago.
about these NFL contracts, man. They can get ripped up at any
I
time.
was gonna say, I was like
Well, yeah.
that contract doesn't mean.
well, it's also
really
been
doesn't.
redone a few times already to give them raises based off of what people are making and stuff.
Well, no, it's just like they don't mean anything.
Like if he went to Kansas City right now and be like, listen, I want a new deal and I want it right now, and he gave them,
They would do it.
they would do it. They hand him a blank check and be like, here, write down what you want.
If he says $70 million, they're going to pay it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're saying though. Is like what he has right now doesn't have any merit. It's his current contract, yes, but it's also If Patrick Mahomes says I'm going to hold out until I get a new deal, he'll get a new deal.
That deal will be done in 30 minutes.
Exactly. But that's what we're saying. Like the contracts don't mean anything because they cut people. It doesn't really matter.
That's why I don't get mad when players ain't loyal to the organizations, because the organizations do whatever they want every day of the week.
Exactly. And that's what's been so weird to me is because I'm mostly pro player and people are like, well, why don't you care about the organizations? I don't give a damn about the organizations because the organizations don't give a damn
They will
about
get rid of you in a heartbeat, man.
exactly.
Yeah, if Mahomes had 3,500 yards the next 2 seasons and 20 touchdowns, they'd get rid of him immediately.
Well, it depends on how many games they win.
You ain't winning many throwing 20 touchdowns in a year.
Well, they did it this year, but my larger point is that like he is the dude. He's the reason why Kansas City on the offensive side is good. If you put anybody else there, it's not.
I don't get why they traded away Joe Tooney after their offensive line just got waxed.
Because they're about to rebuild the trenches, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want Joe Tooney on your offensive line?
No, Joe Tooney's he's what, almost 30? He was 30?
I thought he was 29.
He's 35, man. He's been around. He was with the
Oh, I
Patriots.
thought he was 29.
He's
Never
been there
mind.
for a
Never
minute.
mind.
That's why when I seen that the Bears got him, I'm like, oh man.
Well, he 32. He's 32.
He's still
Okay, I
cooked.
thought he was 29. That's why I was like looking at it sideways.
He's still cooked, man. He's getting paid what?
No, and that's the whole thing is like, this is what irritates the absolute out of me is like people recognize the name, right? And they think that it's a good deal. Like Chicago is like, for you, CR, are you actually happy that you got Joe Tooney?
I look at it like this. If I'm a wife and my husband ain't been able to perform, they pop the Viagra. So it'll do the trick for now.
Bro, I love your perspective so much. You're the greatest person ever.
It'll do the trick for now. It'll stay hard for a little while, but it's not a long-term solution.
We here for a
go
good
get that
time,
penis
not a
pump.
long time.
Go get the penis pump. Hey, I hear you, CR. I get what you mean, though. I get what you mean. He's just a band-aid right now until they find somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 trades that the Bears made, last week, I approve of them.
Yeah, they solid.
I wouldn't be shocked if they took Ashton Genty in the first round.
Don't you put that on me.
Oh,
I'm just saying, I wouldn't be shocked.
Ooh.
That on
you don't want him, CR?
Oh, he
No.
wants Mason Graham out of Michigan.
Absolutely. Yes. Give me Mason Graham. I'll take Will Johnson. I feel like Will Johnson is the best player in the draft.
You take bad Will Johnson because he has a bad will.
Hey, let me find out.
No,
Bad Will Johnson.
it's because he thought we were going to get waxed against Ohio State, and he said, I ain't putting that on
Oh
my
my
tape.
God, we're not doing this Michigan Ohio
Listen,
State.
it ain't
We're
even
not. We're doing it.
As a cornerback, you cannot have a hamstring injury coming into the league now. There,
The last 2 years, he ain't giving up no touchdowns though.
I don't give a damn about giving up no damn touchdowns. I'm talking about when he go into the league. He's going to be barbecue chicken going against those grown ass men.
No, he not. It's Will Johnson, dog. Like, I watched it.
You right, Jay. You right.
I watched his whole career at Michigan, dog. That he's a dog.
You right. You got it.
Thank you.
I'm okay with them taking a running back at 10. Genty.
That is the most dismissive shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Yeah, you're right.
If I had to put my hand up on it, if I wanted a first round running back, it wouldn't be with Genty. I'll say that.
No, give me a Marion Hampton. I got like 5-6 backs I'd take over Genty, to be honest.
Thank you. I said that up there on Twitter. Man,
oh, it's getting spicy.
Like,
I had so many people reporting me because I got so many emails that
they were reporting you.
Yes.
Yo, did you get LaShawn? Did you get legitimate death threats?
I got a couple. Yeah.
You know what? I don't like that, but it means that
I got
you and I are
threats over Myles. I got death threats over Nick Chubb because I 2 years ago I said the Browns should be trading Myles Garret. Browns fans.
Well, you could have got 2-1s back then.
They were not trying to hear that. I wake up in the morning. I try to go up in my Twitter account. My shit was banned.
Damn,
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? And then it's when like I seen like people celebrating it because like my brother in Laville was sending me screenshots of people celebrating it. I'm like, if I ever ran into these motherfuckers at the Muni lot, man, I will knock the fuck out of them.
Oh man.
Like it's bad, man. Browns fans, they are emotional, especially if you don't like one of their favorite players, man.
Well, how do you think I feel? Because like I'm a Bills fan, and the thing is that I talk about them because nobody wants to hear a Buffalo Bills podcast, and nobody wants to hear anything bad about Josh Allen. It was like I can imagine I live in Alaska, bro. You guys are like in legitimate states, Ohio and Illinois, and Jay, you're in what, South Carolina?
Michigan.
I
was born in Virginia.
You was born in Virginia and then you moved up to Michigan?
Yeah, I grew up in a military family, so I was moving every 18, 24 months. I don't know where the hell I'm from.
I was 2 until I was about 12 years old, 13 years. I lived
I wanted to be a Virginia Tech fan because Tyrod Taylor and the boys was doing that thing, but my mom said we only root for Michigan in this house. So
I love Tyrod Taylor.
I felt like he was there for 18 years, dog. Like
he's been in he was in Buffalo and he should have been there. Anyway.
Business decision. That's what it was. Business decision.
For Tyrod?
Remember he signed I think it was $100 million contract, right?
Oh, in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he started 2 years, he led them to the playoffs and everything.
And they were like, no, we're not gonna pay you no more.
Exactly. That's a business decision, man. That's what this shit comes down to.
It is, and that's what irritates me. All right, so on a Buffalo Bills tangent for a moment, then we'll move on. Is that the people who say that I'm a bad Bills fan? I'm done with that. I'm a good Bills fan. I'm unbiased, and I'm okay with being impartial to things. So
it's just funny all the time. I'll be scrolling through and I'll see chopping up with P. Scott 1 year ago, and then you're like, I've effing told all you dumbasses. Like,
it's not my fault that I'm right all the time.
It happens like once a week. I'll just be scrolling. Oh, P. Scott, I told y'all. Like,
but the thing is, but I did tell y'all though, right? I'm not wrong about it.
Man, one of these days they're gonna beat Kansas City. One of these days.
That's what everybody tells me, and I swear to God, this will be the year when they actually do.
I heard y'all might be getting DK Metcalf though, so I mean that could be nice.
No, we're not. Look, man, we're not getting DK. It's the same kind. It's the same kind of when we thought that we were getting Antonio Brown that we didn't. Like,
Oh, they were gonna send it because y'all were NFL Siberia back then. Pittsburgh was ready.
Yeah,
to send
we're
him
about to
there.
go to Canada, bro.
But then they got Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen started looking like an actual quarterback.
And that is why I keep telling people exactly. Josh Allen didn't become Josh Allen without Stephon Diggs, but y'all don't want to hear that.
I mean, anybody who watched the games knew that.
I know, but I'm labeled as a bad Bills fan because I say that.
I mean, I didn't think Josh was going to be any good coming out of Wyoming anyway. I'm like, how the hell you at Wyoming? You 55%.
So there, to me, okay, to defend Josh for a moment, and I've always done this, and God damn it, I'm so tired of doing this. It wasn't that I thought the Bills didn't need Josh Allen. I didn't think they needed to trade up because they were like a number 12 and they trade up to number 7. It's not that they didn't need Josh Allen. It was that they didn't need to trade up for him.
Oh, you're saying like when the Bears trade up for Trubisky and that was dumb.
Well, yes. No, that was really dumb.
Like literally nobody expected San Francisco to take a quarterback at all.
All right, you ain't got to beat no damn dead horse. Like you could have thought of something else.
No, but see, CR, that's that. Okay, that is the reason why I in that draft because Trubisky went like what number 2, number
Number
3.
2.
3. He
No, he
should have
went
gone
second.
3. He should have
But
gone.
the thing is that so Trubisky went in the same draft as Mahomes. So when people clown on Bears fans, I go, that is not the problem because if that was the real deal Holyfield, somebody between 3 and 9 would have picked him, and Buffalo traded back. They were number 22, and then the Chiefs traded up to number 10. Those are two completely different things. So I give Bears fans a pass on that who are pissed off. Yes, Trubisky was a failure, whatever, however you want to label it as. But to say that you would have gotten Mahomes is inaccurate because there were still 9
They
other
would
teams.
have took Deshaun Watson if they
Was
didn't
that the
take
same
him.
draft?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought Deshaun Watson was the best quarterback in that class. I remember it.
It was Trubisky at 2, Mahomes
Watson.
at 10, Watson at 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mahomes went number 10 because the Bills trade number 22, and then they got Tre'Davious White.
But the whole thing I've never understood with the criticism of the Bears is, oh, you passed on Mahomes. No, Mahomes
9
wasn't
other
going
teams
to.
did. A third of the league passed on Mahomes.
Like the Browns
Exactly.
passed on Mahomes, the Bills passed on Mahomes.
Well, the Bills didn't pass on him because they traded with Kansas City.
Well, they could have took him if they just stayed.
Well, exactly. But the whole thing is like, no, if Patrick Mahomes was supposed to be the GOAT, he doesn't get past number 1.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
the Bears
Myles
are still
Garrett,
screwed
I mean,
because Myles
Mahomes is
Garrett
going to
goes
Cleveland.
2, and the
And that
Bears have nothing at 3.
And that is exactly why I give Bears fans a pass when they were like, well, what if we just got no. Because even in that draft, if the Bills don't trade and get Mahomes at 10, that offense is absolute. They are absolute garbage.
Oh,
And
Mahomes wouldn't be Mahomes if he went to Cleveland.
To Cleveland or Buffalo. And that's my point is like, these things matter.
Maybe to Buffalo, because if it wasn't for Mahomes, we'd be talking about Josh Allen like we do Mahomes.
No, he wouldn't. Not at all.
I mean, Allen would be to 2 or 3 Super Bowls. I mean, I assume he wins
Would
a
he?
couple.
Everybody's been telling me for the last 3 years that Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL, and he's never even gotten past. He's never been to a Super Bowl.
Man, if they say Josh Allen better than Mahomes, they do too many drugs.
But that's my point, is that everybody tells me that Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL, and I'm telling you, no, he's not.
Well, then don't talk to them people because they obviously got 2 brain cells fighting for 3rd place.
I know, but the thing is that I'm the one who's the bad person. And I'm telling you,
you're the correct person. You live on the mountain of right while they're in the valley of wrong, dog.
I know, but I hear all the time. I hear all the time I'm a bad Bills fan. Look, here's the deal. I know that he's awesome, but with him being awesome, there's a lot of bad things that come along with how he has to be awesome.
But that's the thing with fans. When it's their team and their player, they're not willing to look in the mirror at their player's flaws.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you can't tell me Jaden Daniels does anything wrong.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and that's the thing with me is like people tell me like you just like you're a bad Bills fan. I'm not supposed to be a Bills fan. If I'm doing this thing live and I'm doing my own podcast, nobody wants to hear about me being a homer. I'm trying to give you my unbiased. I'm giving you unbiased opinion of what I think about everything. And if I think that Josh Allen is blank, 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 I'm gonna give it to you. Same with Caleb Williams. Same thing with Jaden Daniels. I'm not here to be a Bills homer podcast. That's not what it's about. If you wanted that, you would just go watch ESPN and then listen to Stephen A. Smith for 14 hours a day.
Man, Stephen A. Smith said Dwayne Haskins was a running quarterback. I don't listen to him for football, nothing.
Yo, he couldn't even name the top. No, we're not gonna get into that.
Stephen A. Smith does not know anything about anything about football.
It's not even that he doesn't know anything about it. He doesn't even know the teams.
He couldn't even name all the divisions and all the teams. And like
he's not a very reputable source, if you will. But anyway,
he's funny when he argues Shannon Sharp, but that's about it. But he just got $100 million to not know nothing. So,
well, I thought that was really funny too because I remember about 3 years ago I did a podcast episode with him pretending like he was really sad about other people being laid off, and I thought, dude, you don't care about it. It's not going to be you. Like you're not getting laid off.
No, you have the number one.
You're not even great at what you do, but you are the eye drawer of what we listen to and what we watch now collectively, and he's just collecting them paychecks.
Yeah, he is.
It must be nice.
I have no problem with it, but what I have a problem with is the insincerity. I'm like, I could be next.
No, you couldn't.
Right, but that was the whole thing. Is like 2 or 3 years ago, people were getting laid off, and he was like, "It could be me. It could be me next, dog."
You literally have the number one show for 15 years. You're not getting fired.
You're not getting fired, and that was the exact point I made in my podcast 3 years ago. Was you're not getting fired. You're fine.
God damn it, Rudy Gobert is back today.
Man, LeBron James created another super team. Freaking Stephen A. gonna go on Skip Bayless' show.
Well, tell you what. Let me ask you this before we go and hang it up for whatever we're doing right now. Apparently, Shaq had said that Steph Curry should be in the GOAT conversation.
GOAT point guard or like GOAT?
GOAT. Not not GOAT point guard.
But I think he's top 10, but I don't. The difference between him and Michael Jordan is a lot.
So,
I say no. Michael Jordan the GOAT.
But see, this is the whole thing. All right, so if you're supposed to be the greatest of all time, where do we put the measuring stick of when we stop it? Is it 4 people? Is it 5? Is it 2?
I think it's the top 3.
All right, so who's your top 3?
Number 1, Jordan. Number 2, Kareem. Number 3, Kobe, Bean, Bryant.
All right. What about you, CR?
Well, one, I think the GOAT thing is an era thing. Like you are the GOAT of this era.
I'm with you.
But if I got
obviously I'm biased. Like I grew up with Kobe Bryant. That was my Michael Jordan. That's why I have him 3rd. I know nobody else does, and I don't really care because it's my list. But it is
your list can be your list can be your list. But I do feel like once that Kobe died and how he died, everything changed about how we perceived him. And I don't have him anywhere close to that, but that's just me. But CR, what about you, Ben?
I have number 1, Michael James, number 2, LeBron Jordan, and number 3,
Michael James, LeBron Jordan.
I thought he messed up on accident the first time, so I was letting it slide. But then he said LeBron Jordan.
No, he did.
I mean, honestly, there ain't no number 3. It's really them 2, and then everybody else.
You don't think Kareem up there?
I have see how I do it. Like if I haven't watched you play, I don't feel like I can fairly analyze you and say
You know,
like,
I
yeah,
respect it. I respect it.
because at this point I'm just
Yeah.
looking at your stats and I'm looking at clips, so I
'Cause
can't really get the feel how I would.
It's
Opposed
hard
to,
to rank Bill Russell because obviously I didn't watch him play, and like he was playing against a bunch of white guys, so like I don't know how to judge that.
So who did you say is your third CR? I didn't hear that. I heard
there is no third.
Michael
It's like
James and LeBron.
Nah, he
it's
said it's
like them
LeBron,
two,
Jordan, and it don't matter after that.
and third
It
is
don't
just
matter.
so far away from them to me. It
Okay.
don't even matter. Like if we're gonna go down to that second tier, then like you can throw Steph in there if you want to, Kobe,
I just
KD, Shaq, Hakeem. I probably have Hakeem third. Me
You think
personally.
Hakeem better than Shaq?
I think he's more well rounded than Shaq, and I appreciate his game more.
Okay, I
and
can
that is the
respect
whole
it.
thing. Everything comes down to what your perspective and how you view it. Because like aesthetically, I loved watching Hakeem play, but I also know like
Shaq had the most dominant 3-year stretch in the league. Like he should have won MVP 3 years in a row.
Over Jordan. That's the whole thing.
No, Jordan wasn't Jordan then. This was 2000
What do you mean?
when they
You
three-peated.
mean like when Iverson got it, and then I think Duncan got it the year. So what was it? Was it Shaq, Iverson, Duncan?
Yeah, I think so. Like when the Lakers had a three-peat and he's averaging 30,
Oh, so
15, and
early.
2 blocks.
Like 2000 2002.
Yeah, that's that 3 year like nobody was more dominant than Shaq.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And look, the thing for me is like I can understand the argument mostly based on the way that the game was played back then. And I'm okay with it. I really am. I'm okay with it. But it's just if we're doing GOAT conversations, like this is what irritates me is like name your top 10. All right, Jay, go ahead. Name me your top 10 players of all time.
Man, I'm gonna get so much bull jive for this, but
Hey,
here
what?
we go.
Top five. We'll do five.
Oh, I'm gonna get a lot of
that's-
bull jive for this. Anyway, number 1, Jordan. Number 2, Kareem. Number 3, Kobe. Number 4, Tim Duncan, and then number 5, Bill Russell.
All right. So can I ask you why you picked those five?
Well, Jordan, obvious, he the GOAT.
Well,
And
for
then-
you, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
But there's no reason besides he's just the GOAT.
that's what everybody call him. Like,
Not what everybody calls him, but
I mean, Jordan pretty self-explanatory, and then Kareem, he got more regular season MVPs than anybody. If they would have had the Defensive Player of the Year award at the start of his career, he'd have a bunch of those. Like,
okay.
And then he has the most unstoppable shot in history, and nobody else does it. Like, so I respect it. And then Kobe, he probably too high realistically, but it's my list and it's Kobe fucking Bryant, so I don't care.
It's your list, and I appreciate that.
Tim Duncan, man, to me, Tim Duncan is the reason why we even know who the hell Greg Popovich is. Like, I'm serious. Tim Duncan would like.
Wait, whoa. So if Tim Duncan, all right, never mind. That's your five. What about you, CR?
I got Jordan and James at the top.
That
3.
Jordan James thing was funny as hell.
3, I'll probably go. Honestly, I'm thinking. I'll probably go Timmy D 3.
Wow, y'all high on Timmy Duncan.
He's the reason for that whole dynasty, man.
4, I'd probably have. I'm thinking like not only just their overall impact as well. Like I gotta have the light skinned assassin in there, so I probably have him 4.
Oh, Steph.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 5, I'll probably go Hakeem.
To me, is like you guys know that like the top 5 thing is not something that I even subscribe to. It's not a rule. It's not anything I care about. It doesn't mean anything to me. But it is kind of wild that if I extend it to top 10, I think that like you guys would both have 15 people in your top 10, right?
No, I
It's
got
so
10 in my
objective.
top 10. That's how it goes. That's how math works.
I know, but like your top 5 was objectively different than Sierra's top 5. So if I extend it to 10, bro, what's it gonna be next?
I got LeBron 6, and then Shaq 7, Steph 8, Hakeem 9, and let's just put Magic at 10. Fuck it.
I thought Magic was the best point guard ever, though.
No, it's Steph Curry.
But I thought it was supposed to be Magic.
I don't care. It's my list. It's Steph Curry.
And once again, I love you for that. What about you, CR? You got anything? The thing for me is like it was mostly that Shaq said he should be in the GOAT conversation.
Crap. I forgot Larry Bird. I forgot the white boy. My bad.
Look,
Magic Johnson off the list. Larry Bird on.
We need some representation. But no, it's just something where when Shaq said Steph should be in the GOAT conversation, I don't believe in that at all. Because if you're supposed to be in the conversation, it's like a 2 or 3 person GOAT race.
I mean, you can't be in the legit top 3 if you only got one Finals MVP.
So because Steph has 1, right?
Yeah, I mean he should have 2, but even if you give him 2, that's still. I know I'm being contradicting because I have Kobe 3rd, but I mean, leave me alone.
I mean, I will, but I won't. I'll leave you alone here, but in the mentions later on, I won't leave you alone.
Hey, I already told you I know Kobe's too high realistically, but that's my Michael Jordan.
Your list,
he's
though.
3rd.
It's your list, and you're allowed to do that. What about you, CR?
What, top 10? Wow.
Well, just like the entire comparison about
the stuff.
Shaq, like Shaq saying that.
I mean,
Steph Curry should be in the GOAT conversation because I don't believe it.
I think GOAT is like that. I don't think that's the word that Shaq should have used, because now if you want to talk about like being influential, Steph is one of the top 3 or 4 most influential players in the NBA history.
He changed how the game's played. Like
correct, and I 100% agree with that.
As far as influence, it's probably Jordan, Iverson, Steph. Like, those are probably the top 3, and everybody else is way behind.
I love that because, like, when you paraphrase it as far as like influence, you're right. But when we're talking about like greatest players of all time, the fact that Shaq said that Steph should be in the conversation, I thought he's not even, and I hate doing the list, but man, not even close as far as greatest impact. Yes, I'm with you on that. But as far as what we're doing with like word association of greatest ever, I can't do it.
Yeah, because if we're just talking pure hoop, like it's a couple guys you can throw in there that they might not have the impact or the stats or the awards, but if we're talking about just pure hooping, like you can throw somebody like Tracy McGrady in there. Like,
man,
you can't give me too many hoopers better than Timo.
Like just an offensive skill bag 1-on-1. Kyrie Irving needs to be in there.
Right. So it all depends on what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Kyrie Irving is insane. I love watching his highlights. Like,
dude, and that's the thing is like I know that Kyrie Irving will never be in the conversation of the greatest of all time, but as far as skilled basketball players,
like most fun guys to watch, Kyrie in that one.
Oh, in the last him, Jason Williams. If we're talking about most fun to watch, him, Jason Williams,
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose was in it. It was a very
loved watching
short
Derrick
time
Rose.
period, but he was fun to watch too.
I loved watching Rondo.
That's a really good attribution because I really did too. honestly,
remember one time he had a broke arm and he out there stealing the ball and still dunking it in a playoff game against Miami. I'm like, this dude is crazy. Like,
so who's I'm gonna have to hang it up in the next like 5 minutes or so. But so let's just we're done with everything else. Who's what was a fun player that you like to watch who you didn't think was very good, but you enjoyed watching play, regardless of what sport?
Trey Burke. Oh, shoot.
Trey Burke.
Yeah, man, I love Trey Burke.
That is a that is an upset.
He went to Michigan, dog. Like,
Oh, fair enough. That's fair. See, what
man,
about you, man? Like, who's a player, regardless of sport, that you're like, you may not be very good, but I enjoy watching you play.
He was good, but Johnny Damon. Like I loved watching Johnny Damon play back in the day. Like just the way he played. Like I'm past my playing anything years, but just balls to the wall. Like he just went for it all. Like I loved Johnny Damon watching him play. Anybody with heart that will literally, I feel like, will die on the court or field to win, I'm a rock with him.
that's why I love Russ.
Yeah, I love Russ. I love Russ.
Yo, the people that I said we're gonna hang it up in a moment, but now I want to get your guys' perspective on this. Is
Okay,
obviously
I found this on the web for Is There a Hanging Up in the...
What the hell?
I found this on the web.
who was that?
That was my Siri. My bad.
I'm like, who the hell? Like,
No,
man, now we know the FBI listening. We got to calm down.
no, you're good, man. But I saw this obviously through the socials about Nikola Jokic. You know, he's got his 30-20-20 game and him being over here and being efficient, and then Russell Westbrook with his triple doubles and everything like that. And do you think that either one of those guys are better than the other? Because the way that I look at it is that the way that the internet seems to kind of want to push sides on things is that now it's, well, Jokic is the best player and so on and so forth. And for me, it's in the moment when Westbrook was doing what he was doing, it was celebrated. And now we're 4 or 5 years removed from it. And now it's Jokic is being celebrated. Do you think that there's like any kind of undertone to why we're looking at things differently? Or
I mean,
Jokic's
I always
team is
love
winning.
Russ because whenever Russ has a triple double, his team has an 80% chance to win the game.
but see, okay, so that was my thing. I had an argument with somebody, and I said when Oklahoma City had him and he was averaging a triple double, they were 70% plus win percentage.
They literally won 80% of the games. That's why I'm like, he's not just padding stats. Like,
No,
if he don't get this triple double, they probably gonna lose. Like,
exactly. He was doing what they needed to do for that team to win. The way it was constructed. That was my whole thing.
and he shot free throws a lot better back then too.
Yes, but the thing is that we don't realize like that time frame was,
Bananas.
well, one, it was that, but two, it was also what, 7 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, he averaged 4 triple. I mean, nobody cares about the time he did it in Washington because nobody cares about Washington. But
Right, then that's fair.
I mean, I love Russ. I would want him on my team.
It depends on what I'm looking for.
Well, I don't expect him to be a star player, but I mean, if he want to be a bench player on my team, I'd definitely take him.
If you're talking about right now, yes. But I mean, like overall, like he is somebody who gives you 100% effort all the damn time.
That's why I always mess with Russ.
What about you, CR?
Oh, I'll take Russ on it. As long as I don't need shooting on my team, I'll take Russ.
As long as
Yeah,
it's
he can't hit the broadside of a barn, but
If I got shooters, he he actually ain't shooting it that bad this year. I don't know, maybe having more space with Jokic is helping, but as long as I don't need shooting, I'll take Russ any day of the week.
Well, I think Anthony McBride just chopped in. He's Jokic is better, but Russ got received on BS. I think what he means is like basically Russ had Westbrook had some less than reputable.
Well, Russ's problem is he went to LA to play with LeBron, and when you play with LeBron, ain't shit LeBron's
You're
fault.
gonna have.
And Anthony Davis was playing well, so they're like, well, who the third highest paid dude on team? Oh, Russ? Yeah, it's his fault.
Oh,
And
I don't believe that necessarily, but
I just think Russ's
I ain't saying he was
personality
playing well, but LA ruined him for a minute.
and like Russ isn't the whole, hey, I love everybody, and like he just about his business. He want to take care of his business, go home to his family. And I think people don't like that he's not,
well,
he doesn't give the media everything.
and I'm actually really glad that you mentioned that because I was going to ask this. It was in my back pocket, but I wasn't going to bring it initially. So, what about KD? Because he's one of those dudes who wants to hoop, go home,
Man,
and
I love
doesn't.
KD.
But as far as the way, so for me personally, like I don't take sports that seriously. I don't care about these athletes and how they want to portray things and how they want to do their own lives. The social media thing and how they want to interact doesn't bother me. I don't care. But KD obviously that was 10 years ago with him with the burner accounts and wanting to do things a certain way. But does that mean anything to you in how they go about their own lives? Because to me, it doesn't mean anything.
I mean, it really doesn't mean anything. I mean, unless it's like some Johnny Manziel crap or like I really hated Josh Rosen, how he would answer questions when he was going to get drafted. I hated Josh Rosen so much. He just came off as a cocky little prick who wasn't going to do anything, which, shocker, I'm right again. But, I mean...
So you can say shocker, I'm right, but I can't because people tell me that I...
Who said you can't say it? It's America, last I checked.
No, I just mean whenever I do the victory lap of me being right, people are like, oh, you only want to say I'm right. I'm like, well, I'm right all the goddamn time, basically.
I mean, facts are facts. If you're right, you're right. Like,
Right, you're right.
There's nothing they can do about it.
But lay into it.
What was we talking about again?
CR, go ahead, bro.
Oh wait, I remember. Took me a minute, man. Man, I'm turning 27 this month. I'm getting old, but
You see, you're 27, dude. I'm gonna be 41 in like a month and a half. Don't even do that to me.
But I mean, it's more like I do it more with like the NFL when it's like draft evaluation time. I'm trying to see like their attitudes and stuff, but like once they're in the league and stuff, I don't really care what they be doing as long as it's not like some Dennis Rodman crap.
Yeah, I don't care what these dudes do. I have a life. They have a life. Like as long
I mean,
as
like
they,
James Harden was going to a strip club every day, and then he dropped 50 on your favorite team. Like,
right.
if that's what you got to do to drop 50, then do what you got to do to drop 50.
As long as they not no Freddie Freakers out here or nothing, I don't care.
Yeah, as long as they ain't no Justin Tucker. But
Devontae Adams just signed with the Rams.
Oh my goodness!
Wait, who did?
Devontae Adams.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Ooh,
man! I think I think it's gonna be Rams Eagles NFC title game.
Cooper Kupp is getting cooked and he's done.
I mean, they already said that they're trading his butt out of town.
Send him to my
home.
But
the fact that they got
no.
He's done. He's cooked.
Don't give my homeboy nothing.
Send him to my homeboy.
No, because then it's gonna be DeJean versus Kupp, and we're gonna see white on white violence. I don't want to see it.
I'm all for it.
I'm the only white. Dude, you went to an HBCU school. You don't get to do this, Jay.
I'm all for it.
Man, I love black people.
I do too. Don't do that. Don't.
I didn't say you did it. I just was speaking for me.
Don't you do that, dude.
Man, I'm just speaking for me. I like black people.
You're the worst. I love you, but that was a real bullshit thing to do. But anyway, so Anthony McBride says KD gets knocked for doing the same thing Braun did, ring chasing. KD is sensitive for the burner account stuff. And I mean, we talked about that. Like the burner account thing still haunts him, and it was
What
a decade ago.
That's funny
to
to
talk
me.
about the ring chasing thing is different because, man, I hate that I have to defend LeBron, but I'm going to do it. KD only won in one spot that was considered one of the greatest talented team. Like you had Steph, you had Draymond when he didn't suck, you had Boogie Cousins like for a year, but you had all these guys that like you were supposed to win the championship. At least LeBron won in Cleveland, he won in Miami, and then he won in, well, if you want to count the Mickey Mouse ring, then yeah. But
Oh God.
No, like KD, like they had won 73 games the year before without KD.
So
Like
the reason why the reason why I defend Kevin Durant is because he's doing what everybody said he was supposed to do. Like, just think about that for a moment. It was the rings matter. And this is why
ring culture done messed a lot of stuff. It's why Dame ain't in Portland no more.
Right, well, exactly. That's my point. Is that ring culture ruined everything about sports? Is like if you don't have the rings, you don't matter. Whatever you did, you're
without the ring.
So what he did is he followed the blueprint of what fans is like. Well, I need to win. I need to win a ring to matter. And then he did it, and you go, well, you need to do it differently. And then everything changed. The math changed. You moved the goalpost.
I mean, and he even won Finals MVP twice.
But my problem with it was,
and that's the thing is like Steph in the moment of when he won Finals MVP, that was supposed to be Steph's moment, right?
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be Steph's, and then afterwards, supposed to be Giannis, and that is the point. Is like we had this moment of we are going to take over the NBA, and nobody did really. They had a moment of it, but when it was supposed to be Steph's moment, KD rocked in, and he goes, "Oh, Steph, that's cute," but KD was the best player on those back-to-back championships. He just was.
KD is one of the most talented players. I mean, if you're just going pure skill, KD probably in that top 10 that we were talking about. Like, he's 7 foot tall, can shoot it from anywhere, can handle it. I think he's underrated defensively. Like, KD a solid dude.
No, and look, I agree with everything that you just said. I agree with everything. But
he was one big toe away from freaking. They were going to win the championship that year
because they were playing Milwaukee that year.
Yep, and Milwaukee won the championship.
Yep, and again, like it's just like to
and
me,
Phoenix just didn't work out. I mean, it happens sometimes. Like
exactly, and that is my entire point of everything that I do here is that it is circumstantial. Sometimes happens. For good,
LeBron's been in LA for 8 years. If it wasn't for that one blip year, how do we look at his tenure there? Like, you made one Western Conference Finals and then a bunch of first round exits and play-ins. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like it looks a lot like KD in the Suns uniform. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure. Well, and Anthony McBride says, again, he goes, KD is for sure a top 10 skill player. That is not what we're talking about. If we're talking about skill player, I am 100% in the camp of KD is a top 10 player.
Man, let me ask you this.
If we're talking about top 10 players ever, no. But skill-wise, yes, those are two different things.
Okay, but if you have to start a team tomorrow, you got first pick and the top 2 best players are Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. Who are you taking?
Are you talking about right now or their prime?
Yeah, they're prime. Like, yeah, in their prime.
Right. Oh.
Like, you have to start a team today, you get one of them for their whole career.
So I'm basically getting like 27-ish year old Steph or
Yeah, you get
Durant?
whatever you want to consider their 4-year prime.
I would take Durant.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Steph Curry is greater all time, but if rubber meets the road, give me KD on my team.
Well, and the thing is for me is when we talked about this a little bit earlier on was that Shaq saying that Steph should be in the GOAT conversation. No, you. If you're not in the consideration of the best point guard ever, there's no way that you can be in consideration for the best player ever.
I mean, a lot of people already have him as the greatest point guard ever. I do.
I just,
even if you want to put Magic first, I mean, he's still second in that case. Like,
I just have a really tough time. Again, I am somebody who doesn't do the GOAT conversations, the top 5, top 10s. It is not something that I enjoy, that I have I don't care about it whatsoever. But
it's very
when it
subjective.
What was that?
It's very subjective.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's very subjective. So the area that you played in, the players that were around you, the coaching staff,
I'm younger than you, so my list is probably gonna have more newer players on it than your list, Mike, because you grew up watching more guys.
What's funny is that you say that, but I feel like my list is probably more close to yours than you actually expected.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, in general, a dude who's more your age is probably going to have more 90s guys, because I didn't get to watch the 90s. I don't know.
Well, so, all right.
Like, I didn't see John Stockton play. I didn't see Isaiah Thomas play.
So I didn't watch Isaiah play either. But I will say this before getting into like our little fun back and forth, because this isn't going on the podcast. I think I might be done with that. I just want to do the lives and have the fun conversations. Is have you seen the All the Smoke podcast with
Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes?
Right, but they had Vernon Maxwell on.
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, dude, you have to watch it because they talk about John Stockton and
oh wait, was that when they were talking about them padding his stats? Like, oh, John threw the ball over there, so it's a
no. So what they ask him? So Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, they ask Vernon Maxwell. They say, "Well, who's the dirtiest player ever?" And he goes, "Oh, John Mother Stockton. He's a dirty mother." Him and Hornacek. With that little. It's a
of all the guys
episode.
You can pick.
Huh?
Of all the guys you can pick, you don't pick nobody from them Detroit teams. Like, I think Bill Laimbeer probably the dirtiest of them all.
No, they've had multiple people on that episode or on their show, but the episode that I recently saw was Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. They had Vernon Maxwell on, and they asked him, "Who's the dirtiest player you ever played with?" And they said John Stockton, or he did. And then he also brought John Hornacek with the hair flip thing. It's a great listen. It's a great watch. Vernon Maxwell is one of the best storytellers that I've ever heard in the NBA.
Amon Shumpert is too.
He's good too. He really is.
Man, his Kobe story about in the Garden, like, "Hey, young fella, you had a good game." He's like, "Wait a minute, there's still a fourth quarter to go."
Yeah, you had a great game. We got 12 minutes left, bro.
And then Kobe starts being Kobe, and he's like, "Coach, I don't know what to do, dog." Like,
I don't know what to do. Yeah, no, but watch. You can search it either through like TikTok or whatever, but watch Vernon Maxwell on All the Smoke. It is a great conversation because he talks about John Stockton. He talks about Karl Malone. It's a great episode. He goes,
man, I will never say anything positive about Karl Malone in my life.
What was that?
I will never say anything positive about Karl Malone in my life.
No, and you're not supposed to.
I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
No, and you're not supposed to. I 100% agree with you on that. But yes, no, that episode with Vernon Maxwell, he is a great storyteller, and please try to find it out. And I don't McBride hates me because of not hate. I shouldn't say hate. He doesn't like my Josh Allen takes, but I'm also a Bills fan, but I temper things down because nobody
to be
wants to
fair,
hear
you've
Bills.
been right. They ain't even been to a Super Bowl, so
But see, that's my point. Is like I look, man, when you're right, you're right. But
it would
a
be
lot
nice
of
to see him with somebody other than Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Like, I'm rooting for him, but he ain't even been to the dance, let alone win one.
well, and the thing is that folks will watch or they'll see what I post on the page and think that that's what I actually mean. But they don't listen to podcasts, they don't watch this or whatever. It's fine. It's really fine. I know that Josh Allen has his awesome ability, but I do know that he is very much somebody who will throw you games away if you actually watch them, and he does. He does
Oh, I
it
mean,
pretty
he's
rare.
got that Brett Favre in him.
Exactly, but the thing is, like, because he plays the way that NFL fans hate the fact that we watch short throws, short throws, short throws. He pushes the ball down the
Oh,
field.
he's just straight slinging it.
He pushes the ball and he puts us back into a game that we remember fondly and that we want to remember. And I understand that. But when I put things on the page just on things for you to read, you know, it seems like I'm a hater. I'm not. I'm just not a homer. But
I
either
mean,
way,
I'm gonna be a homer for Jaden Daniels, so
yeah, I know you
don't
are.
expect me to be any sort of unbiased when it comes to Jaden Daniels.
And I will tell you this, man, and I appreciate your honesty through everything because you and I, before the season started, you did say he's the baby goat, and I know you were kind of joking,
Not
but
really.
we also talked about this morning or like 2 hours ago. You're like, maybe he's probably not going to be the goat, but I let my fandom get ahead of me, and that's okay, man. Like you're honest about it.
Yeah, I mean, is he gonna win 7 Super? No, but if he can win one Super Bowl, that's more than I thought Washington. I was gonna see Washington win in my whole life. So screw it.
Yeah, exactly. Anthony said I didn't say anything about Josh Allen on this pod. No, no.
I think
You
Jaden
didn't.
can win at max 2, but if he can get us one, I'm happy with it.
That's fair. No, but Anthony said I didn't say anything about Josh Allen on this pod. No, you
On this
didn't. But
one,
no on the pod. No, but through it's so weird. I posted something about like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's like people only pop up when they disagree. And he's here for that, which is fine. It's just it's a funny thing. I didn't say that you said anything on the pod, bro. You've never been on the pod. I've asked you to be on here and you don't want to do it. I've invited you or your son because you're I will say this about Anthony McBride's son, he can hoop. He is a straight hooper. And I have said, like, if your son wants to be on, he can be on here. But you know, it's whatever. It's all good. But like I never said anything about
man, you almost got him in
Anthony
New
saying
England
anything
because apparently Adam
incorrectly
Peters
about
was
this.
about to take JJ McCarthy #2.
What was that? I'm sorry?
Anthony McBride, he said Daniels is a dog. I wanted him in New England, and I'm like, you almost had him because we almost screwed up and took JJ McCarthy #2.
Yo, McCarthy to me is one of those weird. McCarthy is a weird quarterback.
We wouldn't have made the playoffs if we had JJ this year. And I'm a Michigan fan. Trust me, I watched him play a lot in college.
So are you 100%? That's dude. That's the whole thing. Is that we're going back to we know what the outcome is, and then we revisit it back and say, well, we know that we would have never done this. That as a Washington fan, you didn't even know that you would get to the NFC Championship game with Jaden Daniels.
No, I literally said before the year, I'm like, hey, if we win 5 games and Jaden Daniels isn't broken in half, great year.
Well, and that is you did say that because I had you on the podcast before the season even started, and you did say that a successful year was Jaden Daniels just not getting broken.
Yeah,
But
I
you
just
guys
wanted
went
Jaden to be good because I was like, the rest of the team kind of sorry. Like,
well, exactly. But my whole thing too has been all right. So what I have said live multiple times is it is nice to overachieve, but there's no guarantee you're going to get back.
yeah, I mean, we
So,
might not get there ever again, but I mean, in Jaden we trust, baby.
but so I want your legitimate, honest opinion on this. Is you guys went to the NFC Championship game when you weren't even expected to even make the playoffs, and now you got Deebo Samuel. I want your honest opinion. Like I want no bull anything. What is your honest expectation? Because your expectations were low going into the season, and then Washington they overachieved, which is understandable. But what do you actually think with the addition of Debo?
I mean, it's cool to get Debo. I'm not trying to downplay getting Debo, but until we get a corner who can cover a pet rock, we're not doing much of anything
Did you
anyways.
say a pet rock?
Yeah, like we ain't got no corners that are like real corners out there. Like we need. I mean, if we got 7 draft picks, we might need to take 7 corners. Like we we need a lot of secondary help. We're gonna need another. Well, no, we got the defensive tackle out of Illinois last year, so he can probably start this year next to
Well,
Payne.
did you guys release
Yeah,
your
we released Jonathan Allen,
Jonathan Allen? Yeah.
but I would like to get an edge rusher. I'd like to get a few cornerbacks. If Colston Loveland's there in the first round, that would be tempting, just because Jaden loves Zach Ertz so much, and he's probably gonna be done after this year. Like if we can get Colston Loveland and have a great tight end for Jaden's whole career, that'd be great. But that would be more luxury than anything to me. But we need to get a corner, a right tackle, and a pass rusher.
There are definitely some holes in Washington. I mean, the whole thing is like there's holes everywhere. And when I see, the Bills, they extended in Greg Rousseau, and I hear everybody saying like, "Well, that was a great re-sign, dude." It's a 4-year, $80 million deal, and people telling me that he's been great for Buffalo. No, he's been great. He's been good, but he's not great. But $20 million a year, when you really think about it, is
It's
a
half of
pretty
Myles Garrett. Like
exactly. And if you think you're going to get half of Myles Garrett, you pay half of Myles Garrett money. So it's a to me it's a fine signing.
it's
It's
not
not
gonna be
something
why
that
you guys win the Super Bowl. I'll tell you that.
no, for sure, absolutely. And the Bills they cut
Von
Von
Miller.
Miller. Yeah, so I mean, and he has not produced when he needed to. And
Nah, he didn't play well at all.
no, look, man, but this is what I keep telling people, and I hope that people actually listen, is that stop going off the previous success. And when they get to a certain age, there's no reason for it. The Bills thought they were at a certain point where they needed to get him, and they
Vaughn
overpaid,
was
and they
what,
overpaid, more
34,
overpaid.
35 when they got him?
Yeah, he was 35. Yeah, I
I
believe
remember because I was
he was
confused.
35.
it was like a 6-year, $200-something million. I was like, what in
There,
the funny
it
money?
it was yeah, it was something stupid, but there was also a lot of it
Outs.
wasn't all guaranteed though.
Yeah, but just seeing 6 years, I'm like, isn't he 35? I was confused. Like, I get Von Miller takes care of his body and he's a great player, but you can't be a pass rusher at 41.
No, and that is exactly why I tell people like when they do these extensions, especially with quarterbacks, you're thinking that you're getting Tom Brady, you think you're getting Aaron Rodgers, and you're not. Like, stop with these things. Stop with these the oversaturation of the name recognition is going to burn you more often than it's not.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't gonna sign Matt Ryan because the jersey says Ryan on the back. Like he's
Well,
cooked.
that's always been my comp is the Matt Ryan and Ben Roethlisberger. Those have always been my two of you guys paid for past success. and you're still paying. Well, they're not paying them anymore, but at the time, you're
No,
overdoing it.
Pittsburgh's still paying because the whole time Ben was there, they didn't get a succession plan in when they should have, and they still ain't found a
Exactly.
quarterback.
Well, exactly. Yeah, like they should have, and they're always worried about hurting the old player's feeling. And I will tell you this right now: the old quarterback is not there to groom the next guy. They're there to keep their own job. Like when the Giants are saying, "Well, we might want to get Aaron Rodgers." Cool. He's not going to groom anybody. He's Aaron Rodgers. He wants to keep the starting job. Like it's such a dumb, antiquated way of looking at things. That the old guy is going to teach the new guy. No, that's not how it works.
Not like Joe Flacco didn't want to teach Lamar, Brett Favre didn't want to teach Rodgers.
Right?
I mean, I'm sure there's some nice guys out there who, like Alex Smith did for Mahomes, but
Yeah.
you shouldn't just expect hey, you're going to be getting this guy up to speed, because if you're that like Aaron Rodgers, if you're going to be as great as Aaron Rodgers is, you have an ego. I don't care what you say. You have it. I'm not saying it's a bad
100%.
thing. You have to have an ego to play quarterback well in the NFL. I think you do.
No, I 100% agree with that, man. And it's just these fans, like these lowly fans that say, no, of course, let's sign the old guy to teach the new guy. No, we just saw last year that Kirk Cousins signed for $130 million.
That was stupid.
It was, but that's the point though, is that they all want to be starters. They all want to keep their own money. It's not that
And
difficult to see.
I don't get the point of doing that and then taking Penix 8 overall, because you just ruined the whole point of having a rookie contract.
I mean, so I guess it kind of depends on what your circumstance is, because Atlanta was when they got Kirk Cousins, I understood it to a degree, because they did want to draft a quarterback. They had Kyle Pitts, they haven't extended him. Bijan Robinson, they haven't extended him. Drake London, haven't extended him yet. So I understand why maybe you want to get the experienced older quarterback. Whether he's supposed to actually train Michael Penix is another thing. But
I mean, how does a right-handed dude teach a left-handed dude anything?
now that, again, so that's a good point. But
I'm sure Kirk's a nice enough guy that he would do it, but their footwork's completely different. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know the dude. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but he could be an asshole behind closed doors. I mean, I don't know. That's just a perception I get from him. If he might not be going out and actively telling Penix every little thing, but if Penix asks him a question, I don't think he's like, "Go screw yourself."
No, I don't think he's actively going out and trying to play defense against Michael Penix being the best version of himself. But I do see that, for me personally, I do understand that I want to keep this starting gig.
I mean, it's Darwinism, survival of the fittest, baby.
For sure. I'll tell you what, I gotta actually scoot out. But
me too. This time change got me messed up, and I gotta be up at 3 a.m. So screw this.
Man, I'm right there with you, man. It's only 3:20. I actually have.
It's 7:20 here.
Yeah, I have to. I'm getting a new oven delivered, and it's gonna be a absolute nightmare. Anyway, I appreciate you coming in here and chopping with me for a bit. Oh my God, they're already here. My oven is right there. They're not good. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, Jay.
Have fun.
Sounds good, man. Love you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Talk to you later, bro. Love you, bro.